Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In the continuity of the previous lecture number 7, we will continue on the concept of intelligence, educational psychology, EDUC 3112. I am here Dr. Faiza Shaheen. The agenda of today's lecture is the discussion on some theories of intelligence. We will discuss 5 theories of intelligence that are given and described by various educational psychologists. Starting from Guilford's model of structure on intellect, he denied the existence of a general factor G or even rejected possibility of intelligence being reduced to just a few factors and posted 120 unique intellectual abilities. So the scope of this theory is broader than the previous theory, in which G and X factors were told, G denoted for general factor and S for specific factor. So he says that intelligence cannot be defined by only describing some few factors, whereas 120 unique intellectual abilities are there that describe the concept of intelligence among human beings. According to this theory, Guilford 1967, 85 and 1988 proposed a three-dimensional structure of intellect model. According to Guilford, every intellectual task can be classified according to its content. So whatever the content will be given, the likely response will be given according to the intelligence. He further classified content into 5 categories, namely visual, auditory, symbolic, semantic and behavior. Visual means whatever you see with your eyes, auditory with your hearing, symbolic with the use of symbols, and semantic with the meanings, and behavioral in terms of the observable behavior. According to him, the mental operation involved, he classified operations into 5 categories: cognition, memory retention, memory recording, divergent production, and convergent production and evaluation. So these 5 operations involved in the classified operations, and the product resulting from the operation as well. He classified the products into 6 categories, which are units, classes, relations, systems, transformations and implications. So under his theory, he says that the classification of content, classification of operations and classification of the products, these 3 mix up and tell the concept of his theory. Next is Vernon's hierarchical theory. Vernon's description of different levels of intelligence may fill the gaps between 2 extremes theory: the 2-factor theory of Spearman, which did not allow for the existence of group factors, and the multi-factor theory of Thurston, which did not allow a G factor. So both extremes can be bridged with the theory of Vernon's hierarchical theory. According to this theory, intelligence can be described as comprising abilities at varying levels of generality. Number 1, the highest level G, a general intelligence factor with the largest source of variance between individuals, according to Spearman. And the next level says major group factors such as verbal, numerical, educational, and practical, mechanical and spatial physical ability. So different aspects and factors are grouped together. The next level is minor group factors. Those are divided from major group factors. Number 4 is the bottom level, S factor, which is denoted by S specific factor by Spearman. Spearman, beginning in 1969, Werner became increasingly involved in studying the contributions of environmental and genetic factors to intellectual development. Werner continued to analyze the effects of genes and the environment on both individual and group differences in intelligence. So the contribution of nature, which is heredity, and nurture, which is environmental influences, both were read. He concludes that individual difference in intelligence are approximately 60% attributable to genetic factors, and that there is some evidence implicating genes in racial group differences in average levels of mental ability. So 60% of attribution is given to the genetic factors. Next is Cattell's fluid and crystallized theory. The fluid aspect of this theory says that intelligence is a basic capacity due to genetic potentiality, while this is affected by the past and new experiences. The crystallized theory is a capacity resultant of experiences, learning. So according to this theory, the past and new experiences are influenced by the capacity of the experiences and learning. This theory has two fundamental types of theory: the fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence. We will see the both type of intelligence. Fluid intelligence is the capacity for insight into complex relationships, acquiring new concepts, demonstrates general brightness and adaptability in novel situations, whereas crystallized intelligence is a combination of acquired knowledge and developed of intellectual skills. So these two types of fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence is explained here. Next is Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. So the former of this theory and its introduction is given in this slide. Howard Gardner, in his book Frames of Mind, The Theory of Multiple Intelligence, 1983, puts forth a new and different view of human intellectual competences. So we can see that each theory has its own assumptions, and intelligence is defined and described by different psychologists differently. He argues boldly and cogently that we are all born with potential to develop a multiplicity of intelligence. So although it is an inborn trait, but it can be developed a multiplicity of intelligence, most of which have been overlooked in our testing society, and all of which can be drawn upon to make us competent individuals. So according to this theory, the potential for musical accomplishment, bodily mastery, and spatial reasoning, and the capacities to understand ourselves as well as others are, Gardner argues, the multiple forms of intelligence that we must add to the conventional and typical tested logical and linguistic skills long called IQ, intelligence quotient. So he further explained the multiple intelligence theory, and he did not confine the concept of intelligence to one concept, whereas he believed that the multiplicity of the intelligence can be developed and explained. The multiple intelligence theory is that people possess 8 types of intelligence, which is linguistic according to the language, logical reasoning related, spatial with the distance relevancy, musical, motor ability with the movements, interpersonal and intrapersonal, and naturalistic intelligence. So these 8 types of intelligence make up the concept of multiple intelligence theory. Gardner makes a strong case for the plurality of intelligence, whose 7 dimensions work together to solve the problem. The approach taken is unique and is capable of development and facilitated by formal schooling. So, working on these 7 dimensions together, problem solving can be done. and this can be developed in the formal setting of schooling. Next is Sternberg's triarchic theory. Psychologist Robert Sternberg 1985 has constructed a three-pronged or triarchic theory of intelligence. Work on a concept of intelligence that goes beyond the conventional or traditional theories that are confined to mental ability skills. So according to him, he denied the conventional or traditional theories which only were confined to the mental ability. He brought up with a new concept of triarchic theory based on three factors of intelligence. The three types are, in his triarchic theory, analytical intelligence, creative intelligence, and practical intelligence is described. The analytical intelligence is what we generally think of as academic ability. It enables us to solve problems and to acquire new knowledge. So the analytical intelligence is about our tendency towards solving the problems and acquiring new knowledge. Number second is creative intelligence. It is defined by the abilities to cope with novel situations and to profit from experience. So according to this, how likely we are having the ability to cope up with the new situations. And number third is practical intelligence or street smarts, also called street smarts, which means it enables people to adapt to the demands of their environment. So practical intelligence is helpful in the best adjustment in the society and also called the street smarts. And at the end, we will see the second last theory, closing to the end, Anderson's theory, which is cognitive development. Anderson proposes that human cognitive architectures will have adapted optimally to the problems posed in their environment. Therefore, discovering the optimal solution, which is maximum solution to the problem posed by the environment, independent of the architecture, is equivalent to discovering the mechanism used by the architect. It is called rational analysis. So we cannot only stick to the solution to a particular problem posed by the environment, but also see that what the mechanism is used to solve that problem. This is called rational analysis. This theory takes into account the available information in the environment, the goals of the agent, some basic assumptions about computational cost in terms of general architecture mechanism, and produces the optimal behavioral function. And then this function, of course, can be tested empirically and assumptions modified if it proves inaccurate. A contrasting point of view to this is exposed by Simon and is centered on the claim that in a rational analysis the assumptions about the architecture actually do most of the work. So it denies the theories and assumptions and supported by Simon. Next is structural theory. Sinex discovered the neurological correlates of intelligence, wherein he gives 3 correlates of intelligence and found that the waves of intelligent individuals are complex. They do not stick to the one component, but complexity is there. Under its concept, he identified 3 correlates of intelligence, which is reaction time, inspection time, and average evolved potential. First 2 are observed behavior, whereas third behavior is description of mental waves. According to this theory, brighter individual progressively takes less time in responding. They show less variability in reaction time. Their inspection time is also less as compared to less intelligent. Average evoked potential is often measured by the wavelength in electronic cephalogram, and complexities of a waveform. So in a mechanical way, he described that how likely the intelligence works. CSI's biological theory. CC 1990 proposed that there are multiple cognitive potentials. These multiple intelligences are biologically based and place limits on mental processes. So the claim of this theory is strict on the biological basis. These are closely linked to the challenges and opportunities in the individual's environment. According to this theory, in his view, context is essential. Whatever the background is given under environmental situation, to the demonstration of cognitive abilities. By context, he means domain of knowledge and other factors such as personalities, motivation, and education. Context can be mental, social, or physical. At the last, we will see the theory of emotional intelligence. According to Goleman, 1995, emotional intelligence consists of abilities such as being able to motivate oneself and persist in a face of frustrations, to control impulse and delay gratification, to regulate one's moods and keep distress from swamping the ability to think, to empathize, and to hope. So, the emotional intelligence theory is explained by the ability that how one is motivated to persist and face the stress, frustrations, and different moods that do not hinder in his or her work proficiency. The main areas under this theory are knowing one's emotions, managing emotions, motivating oneself, recognizing emotions in others, and handling relationships. This is very practical theory. At the start of this theory, it was very criticized that intelligence cannot be described by emotional well-being of the individual, but now it is a recognized theory. So at the end, we will see, under this lecture we have gone through some theories of intelligence, and according to the proponents of these theories, different assumptions have been described that describe the phenomena of intelligence among human beings. So good luck for the learning.